about it. Okay, Amrita, you can listen to others. Okay, and of course it will be a revision for you. Yeah. Now aim. So what are the aims? Aims we didn't did, right, Mohammed Ayaz?
No, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So goods and GST. This is very important topic because demonetization and GST, they are the latest addition, right? So there are high chances, 80% chances that you will be getting questions from here. So GST. So first, what is the aim? To generate additional revenue for the government and to reduce tax evasion. Tax evasion is basically, for example, earlier you have to pay hundreds of tax. So most of the time people used to saying that, okay, let's just skip. For example, this is me. I have to pay these much taxes. So I paid this I somewhat missed. So there was tax evasion, but now because of GST, I have to only pay one tax, which is GST. So there is a tax reduction in tax evasion. Earlier, if 10 people were skipping the tax, now it is 2 to 3 people only. Next, to create one nation, one tax and one market. So if it is India, you have to pay only one tax, and what will be the market? No matter whether you are living here, everyone will be dealing with the one market. So these are the aims of GST. Now, next, what are the features of GST? First, GST is a single comprehensive indirect tax on the supply of goods and services. Okay, right from the manufacturer or service provided to the consumer. So if you're, for example, this is you and you are living in Delhi. Okay, and your product is being manufactured in Madhya Pradesh, MP, in India. So whether your product is being manufactured in Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Kolkata, Kerala, anywhere, you have to pay only one tax. Okay, so from the manufacturer, it, for example, if it is producing clothes, it's like you have to pay 10% GST. So no matter whether you will get this product here, wherever in the entire India, you have to pay only one tax. So good, GST is a single comprehensive indirect tax on the supply of goods and services, right from the manufacturer service provided to the consumer. Next, it is a destination-based consumption tax with facility of input tax credit in the supply chain. So it is a destination-based. Like for example, if you are getting it here, you will have to pay this, you have to pay the same. So it is destination-based. Now, next, GST is applicable throughout the country with one rate for one type of goods and services. Very, very important point. So, for example, if there are different products, for example, clothes, for example, food material, for example, electronics, gadgets and all that. So it is fixed by the government that for dresses, for clothing, you have to pay 5% tax. For food, you have to pay 10% tax. For electronics, you have to pay 20% tax. So it is fixed. So no matter whether you are eating burger, whether you are eating pizza, whether you are eating chocolate, it comes under food. So you have to pay 10% GST. Okay. Similarly, clothes, whether you are purchasing the pair of jeans or the t-shirts or the top and all that, whatever you are purchasing, that comes under clothing. So you have to pay 5% tax. So this is GST is applicable throughout the country, and it is applicable throughout the country. Not in only Delhi, it is done like it is applicable throughout the country, and you have to pay only one rate. Whether 5%, 10%, 20%, you have to pay one rate, this like this. Next, GST has amalgamated a large number of central and state taxes and cesses. It has replaced, so you can write like this. GST has replaced large number of taxes on goods and services levied on production, sales, and goods and or provision of the services. So earlier you have to pay so many taxes, but now it has replaced large number of taxes. Earlier you have to pay so many taxes and a huge amount for the tax, but now it has reduced everything. You don't have to pay so many taxes. Plus, if earlier if you are paying 20% tax, now you have to pay only 10% tax. Clear? Clear? No? Yes? Okay. So you will write aim. Be very quick, Muhammad. Okay. Aim, these 3 points, and Adib also, and then features. So first write this, then I'll scroll it down. Be very, very quick. Mohammedan, done till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Third, you have to write till here, and fourth, you have to write GST. Instead of it, you are going to write GST has replaced till here. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Done, Mohammedan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we are going to do the benefits of GST. Then this is the last topic. So what are the benefits of GST on Indian economy? So first of all, it has facilitated the freedom of movement of goods and services and created a common market in the country. So because of GST, for example, now you already know whether you are going to produce your good here, anywhere in the entire country, you have to pay the same tax, GST, right? So it has facilitated the freedom of movement of goods and services and created a common market in the country. Now, next, it has reduced the cost of business transaction and cascading effects for the various tax on consumer. So it earlier you have to for example, you are a business person, you are producing various things, you have to pay so many taxes. The cost of producing any product was very high, but now it has reduced the cost of business transactions. Clear? And they have, because of this, various like the effect. If for example, if this is the businessman, he is producing this product and he has to pay tax. So this is for 10 rupees plus he is paying 5 rupees tax. So in order he'll be selling it for 15 rupees, right? But and the person who is purchasing it, the consumer, he'll also purchase it for 15 rupees. But now if this person has to pay only 2 rupees tax, so this product is for 12 rupees only. So it is good for him as well as for the consumer. Okay. Now next, it has also reduced the overall cost of production, which will make India goods and services more comprehensive in domestic as well as international markets. So now they have reduced the cost of production, like the cost which I was giving for producing any product, it has reduced. So earlier, for example, I have 100 rupees. From this 100 rupees, if for the cost of producing one pen is 10 rupees, so I can only produce 10 rupees, 10 pens. Okay, but now if the government has reduced the taxes and all that, now the cost for producing one pen is 5 rupees, so I can produce 10-20 pens, right? So because of this, what is happening, it has reduced the overall cost of production. Because of this, Indian goods and services are more competitive in domestic as well as international market, because now people are producing a lot and they are sending their product for the competition, not for the competition, they are selling it across the country as well as outside the country. Next, it will also result in higher economic growth in GDP as expected to rise about 2%. So now people will produce more, they will sell more. So what will happen? GDP will increase with a good raise, and it is expected that by with the when this was done, like when this was introduced, it was like we are expecting that 2% will be the increment in the GDP. Next, tax compliance will be easier as all the tax payment related services like registration, returns, payments are available online through the common portal www.gstgovernment.in. So now paying tax is very much easier. Earlier you have to stand in a long queue and you have to pay long, you have to stand there, but now tax paying is very much easier because you have the portal. From sitting at home, you can easily log into this portal and you can pay your tax. Very, very easy. Now people, earlier most of the people, because they have to visit offices and there they have to pay tax, they used to avoid it, but now they have to do everything from their home itself, so they are very much ready, they are ready for paying tax, and it's very easy and suitable for them. Next, it has expanded the tax base, introduced higher transparency in the taxation system, reduced human interference between taxpayer and the government, and is further ease of doing the business. Now earlier, for example, this is you have to stand in a long queue, you are hiring someone who will be paying tax on behalf of yourself. There was no transparency, but now you simply have to visit a website. So this is government and this is you will pay the tax, the government will get it. So it has expanded a tax base. Earlier you have only one office where you have to visit, but now tax base is expanded across the world. No matter whether you are sitting in India, UAE, Saudi, wherever you are sitting, you can pay your tax from all over the world. Plus there is a transparency between there is no human interference. This is only you and the government paying direct to the government. There is no human in between. Earlier there was a human in between, the cashier who is going to collect your tax, but there is nothing. So these are the benefit of GST on the Indian economy. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you'll quickly write it down, be very, very quick, because after this also I need to explain two more things and we need to cover the chapter today, like final bye bye. Done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now we are going to do the last thing, which is basically these are the years. Okay. You are going to remember, you are just going to write this and the years. Okay, because purpose we have already done, right? Get, you already know it was formed in 1948, new economic policy 1991. Why? To liberalize and open up the economy and all that. WTO 1995. And government of India fully removed quantitative restrictions on import and manufacture consumer goods. So when, see, earlier we had lots of restriction, but when government did this, April 2001. Why? To increase the competitive position of Indian goods in international market. Now demonetization, you already know, 8 November 2016, you already know. GST 1 July 2017, you already know. So what you are going to write? You are going to write sequence of event and their purpose. So you are going to first, this is a sequence. So 48, then 1991, then 1995, then 2001, then 2016, 2017. So you will just write this. Over here you will write GATT, this, NEP, this, WTO, just write the short form. And over here you have to write the everything. Remove quantitative restrictions on import, this, demonetization, this, GST, this. So that you have a table with you. You don't have to turn on your pages like this. That over here you have to check everything. You have a table with you in one place. Okay, be very quick. Right, sequence of events and then first, second, third, the date, then I'll scroll it down, then the rest. Be very quick. Done? This one? Yes, no. You don't have to
Yes,
write
ma'am.
the objective, okay? So nobody tells me that, ma'am, we are done. You just wait for me to ask. Okay, so now this very quick. Do it and just tell me, ma'am, we are done.
Ma'am.
Yes, Adil.
Ma'am, on Tuesday, what did we do in the class?
Tuesday, we covered demonetization and the positive and the negative thing of economic reform. You didn't get the recording?
No, ma'am.
Yeah,
I'll ask the counselor because I had a basketball match that day, so that's
yes.
why I couldn't join.
Yes, so you can ask the recording because that will like today will be just wrap up this chapter, right? So just ask for the recording because that topic is very important. Demonetization, very important. Either you'll be getting questions from demonetization or from this. Because recently Amos, who was in our batch, right? So
Yes,
he
ma'am.
shifted to some other batch because of the timing issue. So he had his exam. So over here, he told me that, ma'am, from this chapter itself, like, of course, it differ from school to school. But yeah, because these topics, demonetization and GST, are recent topics, so there are high chances, like 80% chances that you'll be getting questions from here. So don't miss that day recording. Okay.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
he told me that, ma'am, I got questions from this demonetization as well as from GST. So yeah, it's not about boards. Yeah, but in both, no, because it depends on school to school. But for both, it's same for everyone, no matter where you are studying, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
CBSE is going to ask you the same question. So because these privatization, liberalization, though they are important, but of course now CBSE is focusing on a new concept, right? So high chances that
Yeah.
you'll be getting these. These are the recent things you can see 2016 and 2017 recent things. So so do watch
Okay,
the
ma'am.
recording. In case you didn't get it, you can text me. I'll just ask them to share it with you.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, students, done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now few more things you have to write. 3 points you are going to write today, and then we'll discuss like question answer. We don't need to discuss because how I teach, I believe that you can do all the question answer, but we'll be discussing the question format, how you're going to understand that. Okay. So now the next thing is deficit financing. So ma'am, what is deficit financing? See, deficit, when we were doing the government budget chapter, there already I mentioned you deficit means, for example, your budget was 100 rupees and you spended the money for 200 rupees. So what is deficit financing? It is for 100 rupees, right? So that is deficit. Now financing means in order to, the gap between your revenue, your expenditure and your budget is 100 rupees. So you need to cover up that gap. So what you will do, either you will take money from someone else, you will lend something. So that is deficit financing. So what is deficit financing? When government budgetary expenditure is more than budgetary receipt. Whatever money you are receiving, it's more than is less than your expenditure, or your expenditure is more than your receive, like whatever you are receiving. The government incurs deficit in the budget. So that is budget deficit. So to finance the deficit, now you have to cover up the gap. The government borrows from RBI, from the people within the country, and from the international financial institutions such as World Bank, IMF, etc. And this is called deficit finance. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, be very quick, write it down. Done, students? Mamadeyan, are they done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, see over here, I am not asking you to write it down because you know what is NEP, New Economic Policy, liberalization already done, privatization done, disinvestment done, globalization done, outsourcing done. Now coming to these two, which is bilateral and multilateral trade and tariff and non-tariff. Okay, so what is bilateral and multilateral? So bilateral trade agreements takes place between two countries. Okay, so it is between the two countries, and over here I am going to negotiate. For example, when I take your extra class, right? Over there I teach you one to one, right? So that is bilateral. But right now I'm teaching you all as a whole economy, right? So over here I am dealing with more than one student. So that is multilateral. Over here, whatever decision I will be making, I will be making a decision all together. But there I will be, for example, I took extra class for Adab and Mohammedayan. So Adab I'll be teaching different and I will be making other things. And Mohammedayan I'll be teaching different and I'll be making the other policy. So that is going to be bilateral, but multilateral, it's going to be more than one person, more than two countries are involved, and over there negotiation are done with many countries together. Now, tariff and non-tariff. Tariff area refers to tax imposed on the import by a country for providing protection to its domestic country. So tariff is basically the tax which you pay on imports. That is tariff. You don't say we paid tax. Whenever you are importing something and you are paying tax, you won't say that this is tax. You will say this is tariff. Okay. On the other hand, non-tariff refers to the restriction other than tax. So other than tax, there are a lot many restrictions that you cannot sell this alcohol in my place, you cannot sell this clothes in my place, like this. So other than tax, if you have other restrictions, that is non-tariff barriers, and if you have tax restriction, that is tariff restrictions on import. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you will write bilateral, multilateral trade agreement, the definitions, and the tariff, non-tariff, the definition. Students done? Okay, Mohammed Ayan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, done. Very good. Now let's just quickly discuss the question answers. Okay, now let's just do it. These are the question answer. I have already shared these question answers with Mohammed Ayan. Heba is not here, and Adar. Mariam, I don't have your number, and Amrita, I also don't have your number. So your counselor will be sharing it with you. I've asked her to share it with you. In case you didn't get it, you can text her. In case you didn't get it, you can text her that ma'am, Sana ma'am told me that that you will be sharing some questions. So I haven't get it. Please share it. Okay. So you can just read it out. Let's just discuss the questions. Or in case you didn't get it, so no. In the group. Okay, Mariam, I'll do it. That. Okay. Now these are the questions. Why economic reform introduced? You already know this, right? Now you have to over here distinguish between the stabilization measure. These are the questions basically. What you will be doing, you will be reading all this question answers. Okay, right? Till 24 you have the question answer. Over here these are the answers, these are the questions in between. Okay, so these are, you can just skip that. From here onwards you have the answers. Wait, I'll just tell you. From here onwards these are the answers. Okay, so you will read, this is your homework, you will read it in our next class. If you have any query related to these questions, we'll just discuss it. Okay, today this is other reform chapter. Okay, I've already shared it with you, I think. Yeah, I already shared this PDF with you all as well. Okay. So in case if you have any issue or any query, you can just let me know, because this chapter is really important. So I've also shared this with you people. So let's just discuss few questions over here. And in case if you have, just give me 1 minute. I think one more question is there. Okay. So in the PDF itself, you have some extra questions over here. You can see. Okay, these are the higher questions. Sometimes when examiner tries to, make your paper tough, so these are the questions. So first question, you can see the demonetization of the currency undertaken by government India on this had adverse impact on the economy. So you have to agree, do you agree with the statement? Give reason. These are the type of question, these are higher order questions, and there are high chances you will be getting one question from each chapter like this, where they won't be asking you the direct question. First you have to read the question, then you have to find it on your own whether you are going to write the good things about the things. Over here, when you read the first line, you got to know that you have to write about demonetization, right? Once you got to know that, after that you have to decide that whether you're going to write the good points or the bad points. Okay, so the given statement is totally correct, is not totally correct. Why? The shortage of currency in the circulation had adverse impact on the economy. There were long queues outside the ATM booth. So now people have to exchange. Plus, what government did? Government said in of exchange of other things, you will be only getting 400,000 rupees. So, for example, if if there is a family emergency or the medical emergency at my place, at that moment I need 10,000 rupees. So from where I'll get that 10,000 rupees? Because what government did? Government said in a one day one person will be getting only 4,000 rupees. So now this move has many positive impact on the economy as well. So this is what it's saying, that see, it has negative point. Why? Because people have to stand in long queues. There was lines outside the ATM booth because people are really eager to exchange money. But there are positive things as well, because it reduced somewhere the black money, the corruptions. We already did this. The savings increased, right? Plus earlier people used to save in an offline mode, but now people try to switch to the online mode, as well as the you can say technical mode, instead of saving it as a offline mode. Now next, liberalization was introduced to put an end on those restrictions which become major hindrance in the growth and development and open various sectors in the economy. So liberalization basically we put up an end to all the restrictions. So yes, ma'am. So in the light of the above statement, explain the various measures, various liberalization measures. So first, deregulation of industrial sector, right? Second was financial sector reform, right? Third was tax reform was there. Next was foreign exchange reform. We already discussed all this point in our classes, right? Yes, we have written deregulation, economic, everything we have written.
Yes,
Yes
ma'am.
or no? Yes. Okay. Then the trade also we have written. Now next, since 1991, every year the government fixed the target of disinvestment of PSCs. Do you think selling a part of properties of government companies is the best way to improve their efficiency? See, over here they have asked you, do you think it's a good way? So it's totally fine whether you write good point or the bad point. Over here they have written this. They have in that chapter what we did. People criticize the disinvestment part, right? What they said that people, government sectors, like government organizations, like the government industries are not good enough, they are undervalued, that's why they are selling it to the private sector, right? Some of them say that government need revenue, only then government is selling all this, right? So first of all you will explain the disinvestment process that earlier is for this and this. Then you will say that critics point out that the assets of PSC have been undervalued, that's why they are being sold. Plus, most of the people said that government has shortage of revenue, and in order to generate revenue, government is doing this. There is no motive to improve the status of PSCs. Government just need to, cover up the shortage of revenue. That's why government is doing this investment. Clear? Yes, no, maybe. No. Others didn't get this point, or you want me to explain it again?
No, it's clear.
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. Just give me the confirmation, because sometimes it can be possible that I am explaining and you are not getting it. So I'll explain that. Okay. Now, next is as a form of economic activity, outsourcing has intensified in recent time. Most MNCs and every small companies are outsourcing their services to India. Defend or refute the above statement. The above statement is correct. They are talking, first of all, you will write what is outsourcing and why, because why it is becoming more important nowadays. So first of all, you will write because of IT, it is being grooming up, right? Then you will write why India is a good importer, right? Oh, we have already discussed this. We have written the points of India as well, because in India cheap and skilled labor is available, only then it's becoming the important part for the outsourcing. So you can write it down. Next, as an important member of WTO, India has become a forefronter of framing fair goals, global regulation, safeguards, and all that. However, some scholar question on the usefulness of India being a member of WTO. Explain the above statement. Okay, so see, most of the people, like India is an importer and India is a developing country. So among the developing country, India is one of the finest country. So whatever rules and regulation India makes, people follow it like that. So, but people of, like, there are various scholars who are questioning that instead India is a member of WTO, they question that what is the volume of international trade, right? And they are even questioning out that there is a force outcome. India feels cheated, like, because most of the time they have put in lots of restriction, right? It's not like that India is ever, like, India is a developing country, so most of the time developed countries have put in the restrictions. Not everyone is allowed to do trade with them, not everybody is allowed to enter their market and do business and all that over there, right? So this is what you have to do, right over here. Next, fiscal policy reform in India has a negative impact on the development and welfare affairs. So yes, ma'am, this is because a taxation policy, this statement is true. Okay, has a negative because of fiscal policy. What is happening? Government is focusing on foreign investment. Government is not focusing on what? Government is not focusing on social welfare. Earlier, the main motive of government was to promote social welfare and the well-being of the country. But now government is focusing on foreign development. They are investing on the foreigners. They are trying to build the infrastructure so that people can, like, the foreigners get attracted towards it and they can do the foreign investment. So that's why, yes, ma'am, this is a true statement. Now, next you have to study this. We already discussed this chapter as well, and because of this, you have to say which sector has continued witness the growth. So, ma'am, service sector during the reform period, the growth of agriculture has declined. You have to give the reason. We already discussed this as well. Plus, the service sector, you have to explain the industrial growth has recorded slowdown. So, what are the reasons? Already discussed this entire chapter, and the reasons you already have. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so in case if you miss out anything now, you have the recordings, right? Just put that recording in 2x, right? And because you have the option for the speed over there. Just, and in case if you feel like you attended the class, but still if you feel like you are not sure about the topic, you need to revise it, just go for it, right? Just check the recording, just speed it up. You have your notes with you, just speed it up and listen to the explanation what I explained over there, right? So that you can use the resources. You have recordings. It's not like that for example you attended the class, so you won't be getting the recording. Ask for the link, you will be getting the recording. If you want, even if you attended the class, you want recording, they are available. So even after the class, if you feel like that you need to revise the things, you need to watch the recording, because revision, watching recording at 2x speed, right? Whenever, for example, in my class, what I follow is like I teach you people plus I give you the gap. So it's not like for 1 hour I'll be teaching you 1 hour. In between I give you the time. So what you can do, you can skip that part. In the recording, you can move forward whenever I give you the time, and then whenever I started the topic, just listen to it, then skip it up, then listen to it, and use the resources in a good way. Ask for the recording. It's your right to ask for the recording, whether you attended the class or you missed out the class. Ask for the recording. That recording is not for the missed one, that also for the revision purpose, right? So for example, if you are not getting this concept, you are not getting the demonetization concept, just write it down that okay, today we did this topic, so this on this, like the recording for this particular day will be here. Just ask for the recording. Clear? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is for everyone, okay? Not for only one person. This is for everyone. Okay. Now next, the process of globalization through liberalization and privatization policies has produced positive as well as negative impact. So yes, ma'am, globalization positive is greater access to global market. Directly we did, when we were doing it, directly there was an answer for it. Positive points about globalization as well as a negative point about the globalization. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have this PDF with you, plus what is your homework. In the next class, you just have to go through these questions, and also I have shared you